Well, there are orders that are illegal and contrary to the laws of war and the regulations and rules of the armed services. And of course, there's a very fine line there, but it's a very clear one, very distinct one.
Would then you place the blame on the superior officer for giving out an illegal order if it was questioned by his subordinate?
Yes, if a Marine superior officer or staff non-commissioned officer issued an illegal order and it was contested, he'd be held responsible.
Does this carry over to other branches of the service?
Oh, I can't speak for them, but in general, it certainly does. It applies to any military force that's fighting under the laws, rules, regulations of this country.
Mrs. Howard, what is your reaction to the proposals in this new budget?
Well, of course, we're not very happy with the proposals that they have for teachers for this next year.
Well, what are the problems with the proposals?
Well, what management is proposing is that they spend the next 2 years getting all teachers on step.
On step means what? I'm sorry.
Well, we have many teachers in the Dallas school system who are not on step according to the salary schedule, the index schedule that the board adopted last summer. And so we would like to see every teacher in Dallas on the proper step according to that index.
And this is not allowed for in the new budget?
No, it is not.
They say that I'm not able to communicate with the representatives of the poor. I think if there's any one thing that I can do is to communicate with poor people. And I think the fact that is the real key to it is that interracial cooperation and harmony, which somehow keeps people divided and makes for poverty also, cannot be obtained without some social changes which will eliminate institutionalized racism. Racism is the key to it.
Are you saying then that you are being removed because of what you call institutionalized racism?
Right.
As I understand the policy, it urges all SMU community members to abstain from alcoholic beverages. It emphasizes to students the importance of state and local laws which prohibit persons under 21 years of age from using alcohol, and that covers 82% of the SMU students. And it places the personal responsibility of using alcohol or not using it on the remaining persons, stating that disciplinary action will be initiated by the university for those who neglect their responsibility. In effect, the report says that the disciplinary approach to the alcoholic problem does not work, that the university hopes that through making people personally responsible, through providing counseling and medical guidance, the university's goal, which is to prevent people from having alcoholic problems, will be accomplished.
What is 792 feet long, 633 feet wide, and 208 feet high, has 115 drinking fountains, 86 restrooms, costs $25 million, and seats 65,000 rabid Dallas Cowboy football fans? You guessed it, Texas Stadium behind me. Today, Texas Stadium was open to the press and to some of the public for the first time. Though it's a far piece from completion, they hope it will be by August 14th. I talked with Texas Stadium General Manager Bert Rose about the exciting new Cowboy home.
Well, we are, Jerry. Based on present construction estimates, we expect to be in Texas Stadium for our first game on August 14th.
How is the sale of season bondholders coming along?
Very steady. In terms of tickets, it represents about 22,000, and in terms of dollars, about 14 million.
I understand you have a new plan for potential buyers of bonds at this moment.
Yes, we have submitted a new financing plan to the Irving City Council for approval. where we would have a $6 down payment and $6 a month. We feel that this brings the bonds within everyone's financial range, and we want to broaden the base and make NFL football available to all.
How are your parking facilities, both getting in and parking and getting out of Texas Stadium?
Well, we'll have 15,000 paved parking spots divided into two color-coded areas, blue and red. The blue area is the area immediately surrounding the stadium, and that will be for bondholders only. Then the balance of the parking will be for individual game purchasers. All parking will be $2 per game. As far as ingress and egress is concerned, until we have a little experience, it's difficult to say. But like anything else, we know that our traffic flow will improve as people learn how to use our road system.
By now, everyone is familiar with the number of drinking fountains, 115, and restrooms, 86, and quite a few concession areas, too, correct?
Yes, we have 84 food service locations. We don't think anyone will go hungry or thirsty in the stadium.
How about the heating on cold days, Bert?
The heating is a thing in the future. The stands have been wired for radiant heating, and that's a definite add for future years. I don't think there's another stadium in the nation that has that feature. However, because of our roof and the general enclosed feeling in the stadium, I think it'll be a good deal warmer than an open stadium would be.
Would you then, as president of Texas Stadium, state unequivocally that this is the best $25 million bargain around for a football facility?
It's an NFL champion.
Glenn Murgison today told the press that because they want Texas Stadium to be the very best, the addition of acoustical material to the roof of the stadium might prevent the Cowboys from being ready for their August 14th opener in the Salesmanship Club game, which makes you know that once it is ready, and if you'll knock on wood, it could be August 14th, behind me, Texas Stadium will be the finest football stadium in the country. This is Jerry Haynes for Channel 8 Sports.
In view of the comments of Mr. Constantine concerning Mr. Payton's ability to perform, and in view of the fact that Mr. Payton had not been reprimanded by this board previously, the board voted to withdraw its request for his resignation and request Mr. Payton to meet with the executive committee to receive guidelines for the future performance of his position.
Well, of course, the school board, the new school board, has already voiced their opinion that teachers are the most important part in the school system. John Plath Green, the new board president, has made this statement, and if they really believe that teachers are the most important role in the school system, then I believe that they will be willing to fund an adequate, livable salary for teachers.
Almost 10,000 hogs have been killed and buried in Texas since March of last year. The reason is hog cholera. There is an epidemic of hog cholera in many states now. Texas is included. The whole state of Texas is under a quarantine to prevent the moving of hogs interstate or within the state. 31 counties in all are under a federal quarantine within the state of Texas. In north central Texas, the members of U.S. Animal Health Division are headquartered in Fort Worth now to work the areas affected by the quarantine here in the Fort Worth, Dallas area. The members of the team thus far have eradicated or eliminated about 12 herds here in Tarrant County already. Heading up the federal team here is Dr. S. Wayne Bilby. He says there is no danger to the consumer.
There's no particular danger as far as human health is concerned in the processing of the meat that might be infected. Would not have any ill effects upon any human being. About the only problem is the economics of the individual who has the sick hogs.
Since a concerted drive against hog cholera began last year in Texas, the federal government has paid more than $250,000 in indemnities to hog farmers. Early next week, another herd of 197 hogs will be eliminated here in Tarrant County due to cholera. Dr. Bilby said he could not say when the quarantine might be lifted in this area or in the state. He did say, however, that hopefully hog cholera will be eliminated after the different phases of the cholera eradication program are finished. Jim Green, Channel 8 News on the Move, Fort Worth.